Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Transformation Tuesday. This week we're talking about Beryl. So I hope everybody's having a fantastic week. I've woke up this morning with a cold sore, so I'm feeling a little bit sorry for myself today. So let's talk about Beryl. So she came to see me for nauseousness, urgency in the bowels, and exhaustion. And if you haven't watched Transformation Tuesday before, I'm Ange Sinclair, and I'm the digestive detective today. And today I'm talking about Beryl. So Beryl is 62. She came to see me mid-December 2019. She's a nurse that works really, really hard. So she travels to developing countries, leading missions to help people less fortunate than us with healthcare. She's been doing that for about 16 or 17 years, so it's pretty impressive. So she's picked up numerous gut infections over the last few years, all treated with lots of antibiotics. In the last year, she has had 8 rounds of antibiotics. So we know that one round of antibiotics can decimate our species of gut bacteria for up to 8 years, and others may never come back. So you can imagine the damage that happens with 8 rounds in 1 year. So one of the other things that happens with Beryl is she also looks after her grandson, who is 18 months old. So she's done that for the last year or probably a little bit longer. And this grandbaby goes to daycare 1 day a week, and he's always got a cold and a runny nose. As kids tend to do on their first year at daycare, they become little reservoirs of germs until their immune system gets, adapted and equipped to deal with those little germs. So she was getting every single cold and every single flu that he would bring home. So Beryl has been to her doctor again about all these issues, and what happened is they wanted to do more rounds of antibiotics. And because her biggest symptom was nauseousness, she didn't really want to take any more antibiotics. She was looking for different options that she could have. Now, at 62, Beryl was pretty fit and active. She went to the gym a couple of times a week. She spends lots of time doing lots of things for everybody else. So she basically was so exhausted during the day that she'd have to take sleeping tablets to get to sleep at night. So when I first started seeing Beryl, her energy level was 1 out of 10. And it doesn't get much lower than that. She was also so depleted and desperate for help, very sad and didn't know what to do, didn't know where to turn to or anything like that. So she had a fantastic diet, but she still really felt bloated and sick all the time. So she was never getting any relief from her symptoms. So she went away for the Christmas holidays, and she found that she felt considerably better during this time. And it also brought some awareness to her, because when we're trapped in it, we don't actually see it. So it brought some awareness to her that maybe she was doing too much for everyone else and really not taking good care of herself. So that was a really nice learning for her. And do any of you find that you get caught up in this cycle? I know sometimes that I do. You just forget about you, hence cold sore. So spend some. So she started to think about taking time on her rather than doing everybody else's, bidding for them. So now, Beryl had chronic fatigue in her 30s, so she knows what real fatigue feels like, and she said she felt like this could be the same, if not worse. So she was so fatigued. So what we did realistically, so when I see somebody like that, you can't do lots of really heavy duty gut stuff. So you have to go really nice and gentle, because 1, their adrenals are really fatigued and they can't deal with it. And 2, that they just need that little bit of love and nourishment to get them to where they are more robust so that they can be treated better. So what we did, we started with gentle restoration gut work, which she really needed after 8 lots of antibiotics in 1 year. And we looked at where we could add more colour and more fibre to her diet. So she had a great diet already, so it was just about tweaking the diet that she had. We also made a plan, and I got her to commit to times when she could take free time for herself. So not time for her to do something else, but just to make it as free time where she would just do something for herself. And this was really difficult for her. She found it super difficult to get the hang of it. So what she did do, though, was she reduced her working in hours. that she was working, because she was working quite a lot as a job as a nurse, and she found her energy levels really improving. So we spent lots of time working with herbs, especially herbs that support her immune system and her energy levels, because I think that's really where the bulk of Beryl's problem lied. She was just so exhausted. Her immune system couldn't function properly because she was so exhausted. So we also put her on an immune support supplement, as she was still going to look after her grandson really regularly. So I think that was important, that we needed to do that. So we needed to make her immune system really robust, rather than getting taken out every single time he got a cold or a flu. So I had seen her every month since December, and she missed April due to the pandemic. And then I spoke to her last week. So she's had a real shift in her mindset around her own self-care. And then this is often what a lot of us need, when we're struggling with these sorts of things. So her hospital that she worked in over this time had been downgraded, because they would do surgeries, so they were no longer allowed to do that. So she took advantage and took some of her long service leave. So what she noticed was, when she was at home, she was no longer getting sick from that half day of nauseousness that she'd had experienced. Like, it was so bad she would be taking a Maxilon or something like that. So instead of having this now every day, so in the last month she'd had it one day. So that's pretty impressive, that she could manage those symptoms and keep taking her herbs and do all that and get her down to that. So her bowel also, from that lack of constant stress, had completely normalized. So she was really taking better care of herself, and she was finding that she wasn't overscheduling herself like she had been. And this was part of her problem. So her energy level had gone from a 1 in December to now in May at a 9 out of 10. That's pretty good, because it takes a long time. And my fear for Beryl was that, because she'd already had chronic fatigue, that you could easily slip back into that. She's still continuing with the herbs. She calls them mother's little helper. And she's spending lots more time taking care of herself. She has just gone back to work. But she has also said, I'm going to cut my shifts from now, and I'm going to take care of myself. So sometimes what we need is for someone to tell us we need to take more care of ourselves, and help us actually plan where we can put this into our life. Because when we're in the forest, it's hard to see the trees moving forward. So Beryl couldn't have done this for herself, because she was in exhaustion mode, and she found it really, really difficult to make the simple decisions around her healthcare and her life, quite honestly. So if you have any health issues that need more direction, book in for a free 15-minute consult, and let's get you started. So you don't want to be like Beryl and not take the steps to look after yourself. When you know where you're going, it's really much easier for you to get there. So Instagram people, the link is in the bio. And for all your Facebook people, I will put the link in this video. Have a fantastic day. The contest is getting drawn straight after this. And I will talk to you. One thing, if you're on Facebook in Digestive Detective Love Your Groups, come in tomorrow, because I'm going to talk about some home remedies that you can make at home to get you through the winter season for colds and flus and those sorts of things. So it'll be pretty short, probably about 15 or 20 minutes, but come in and have a look. It will be great. So have a fantastic day, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye.